Wipe away those bloody tears because Castlevania on Netflix is finally back. But in case you've been entombed for centuries, allow me to catch you up in 6 minutes. Full spoilers ahead. Castlevania Season 1 introduces us to the series' bad, Vlad Dracula Tepes, who spends his days impaling local townspeople and occupying a really dope castle. Then one day, a woman named Lisa visits his infamous castle to learn real, honest-to-God science so she can become a great doctor. As a bonus, the two get married and have a son named Alucard. But as we all know, medieval folk don't take too kindly to women using science to help the general population. So an angry mob in church label Lisa a witch and burn her at the stake, thus invoking the genocidal wrath of Dracula, who's mad at humans for being fearful, small-minded creatures. So Dracula may be a bad guy, but maybe he's not a bad guy? With the world overrun by demons, how's a dude supposed to grab a drink around here? This guy doesn't seem to have a problem.
I'm Trevor Belmont, and I've never lost a fight to man, no beast.
Trevor is the lost son to the Belmont clan, a disgraced family of monster hunters, but more specifically, vampire killers. On a quest to fill his hungry stomach, Trevor crosses paths with Sypha, a magician from the nomadic tribe of history keepers known as Speakers, and the half-human, half-vampire son of Dracula himself, Alucard. After talking out their differences, Alucard deems Trevor and Sypha worthwhile partners in eliminating Dracula.
Such a merry band we are.
Season 2 introduces us to Dracula's war council and army, which includes vampire generals Carmilla, Godbrand, whoever these vampires are, 2 humans named Isaac and Hector, and of course, hordes of monsters. As you probably guessed, the vampire generals aren't exactly thrilled about teaming up with humans, much less answering to them as superiors. Dracula's reasoning in bringing in these humans? They hate the human species just as much as he does, and he values the way they think. Plus, they're Devil Forge masters, meaning they can resurrect corpses to strengthen the numbers of Dracula's army. Meanwhile, Trevor decides the gang should head to the Belmont family estate to dig through the family treasury in the hopes of finding a way of locking down Dracula's moving castle long enough to slay the vampire lord once and for all. Back at the castle, danger lurks in Dracula's own ranks, with mistrust and mutiny brewing among Godbrand, Carmilla, and the rest of the war council. But above all, Carmilla makes an extra effort to get on Hector's good side, playing the long con to win him over, so he lets down his guard. And then we see Dracula open a portal to a forest where he does one of 3 things. 1. Contemplate suicide via sunlight. 2. Testing out transferring things via portal. Or 3. Something that comes up in Season 3. In an actual helpful turn of events, Isaac, Dracula's only remaining ally, discovers Godbrand's plot to betray Dracula. So Isaac kills Godbrand and scatters his ashes to the wind. Because that is what friends do. And finally, after a series of betrayals, lies, and general scheming, Dracula finally moves the castle to Brela, where Carmilla's forces invade, just the way Carmilla envisioned. Back in the Belmont hold, Trevor rediscovers a family weapon, Morningstar, while Alucard and Sypha eye a mirror that will help track down Dracula's moving castle. And after a bit of light reading, Sypha discovers a way to lock Dracula's castle into a more advantageous position. And then the Demon Forge monsters break in. Back at the castle, Dracula opens a portal to the desert and throws Isaac inside to keep him safe from the invading army. Carmilla and Hector join the battle on the streets of Brela, and in a delicious bit of irony, Sypha's plan to move the castle works, while Carmilla isn't inside.
What the f*** just happened?
Fresh off a W against the invading monsters, Trevor and the gang regroup and take the fight to the castle in what is easily one of the finest moments of fan service ever put to screen. Trevor, Alucard, and Sypha work together to fight against the War Council, all set to an orchestral arrangement of Bloody Tears, one of the finest Castlevania tunes ever made. And since I have a few seconds to spare, let's just watch this really cool fight for a bit. So good. Oh, right, time. With the War Council defeated, the only obstacle left is Dracula. After a long-fought battle, Dracula discovers a sliver of humanity.
I'm killing my boy. I must already be dead.
Ashamed and distraught, he accepts death at the hands of his son. Over in Brela, Carmilla decides to return to her home of Styria, but this time with a new prisoner, Hector. She plans on having him build her an army of her own to fill the void left behind by Dracula's death. Somewhere in the desert, Isaac comes to a similar conclusion and decides to build an army of his own. The victory over Dracula is bittersweet. Romance between Trevor and Sypha blossoms as the two agree to vanquish evil all over the world after a quick pit stop at the Caravan of Speakers and Brela to deal with Carmilla's army. In a show of goodwill, Trevor gives Alucard his family home, which has effectively become the castle basement, to which Alucard vows to oversee and maintain and time. How'd I do? The stage is set for Season 3 with the clash between Isaac and Carmilla, or Isaac and our heroes, or Isaac and Carmilla and our heroes. And you know what else? Funny thing about Dracula, he loves getting resurrected. But what do you think Season 3 has in store? Let me know in the comments. For more on Netflix, check out all of our coverage of Altered Carbon Season 2. And as always, be sure to follow and subscribe wherever you like to watch IGN.